Okay, I thought I'd do some updates on things, what I've been doing. So, as you probably know, if you were following my channel, I have a major problem with the computer because, as I'd done in the previous live stream and other video, um, by the way, when I encoded that video, I had to throttle my CPU down because otherwise it would have overheated, and I was blasting it with a cooling fan and everything. Anyway, the situation. I've been doing a whole bunch of research, right? For example, I went on eBay. I did a search online, and because what I need to do, I've got a new motherboard coming, and it should arrive next week, right? So I've got 7 days to wait to basically bite my fingernails. Oh, I just remembered I've got no teeth. Well, not top teeth anyway. Okay, well, I've got 7 days to chew. Oh, no, I mean, I keep forgetting no teeth. To suck my fingernails. No. Okay, I think that's a bad idea. It's not very hygienic. Right, so, and I was thinking, what the hell, what can I do? And obviously, one of the biggest issues is the fact that this machine, when I built it years ago, I never had this problem with it overheating because I didn't really play games, and I only really used it for Second Life, and I didn't have as many problems back then. It was, for some reason, it was running cooler. It seemed to run a bit hotter, and mind you, we're having a bit of a heat wave. Well, not a heat wave where I am, but it's hot. It's warmer. It's a lot warmer than normal. So because the ambient temperatures are a lot hotter, or rather warmer than normal, I don't get much cooling for the computer, right? So during the day, it gets quite warm. So I thought, well, what I need to do is find what's called an Arctic cooling fan. Basically, that means that we need better cooling so that it doesn't dry out the capacitors, right? Oh, where is it? Recently closed. Right, so I looked at this on eBay. And £24, but I can't afford to buy that this week. It'll have to be next week, but that's okay because that motherboard doesn't arrive till next week anyway. But and a lot of people have been buying them. I had to do a whole bunch of research to find the right thing, right? Well, because these computers are so old, the prices have come down. I mean, 10 years ago, these Arctic coolers, they would have been a lot more expensive than that, probably £50, right? I couldn't afford it back then. So you might say, oh, why didn't you upgrade that when you built it? Well, because it costs too much money, that's why. But obviously they've got a lot cheaper over the time, and a lot of people buying them. And I mean, look at that, 170 sales, right? So they're very popular, and these particular cooling fans for the CPU were huge, and they're actually mounted vertically. So this little bit at the bottom, oh, you probably can't see my cursor, I've just realised. Can you see my, oh yes you can, right. So this little bit at the bottom is what comes in contact with the CPU, and they're mounted vertically, not horizontally like that. The way it's pictured, that's horizontal. Well, it's mounted vertically, and I've been watching a whole bunch of tutorials on installing these because I'm not 100% sure it would fit in my case, but I think it would because it's a pretty big case, so I'm pretty sure I think it will. So these are all the different pictures that you get with it. They've got heat pipes in them, right? The side view. A lot of people have been buying these for the AM. You see there, the for AMD3, AMD4, AMD5, also Intel. So these fit a whole bunch of different computers. Excuse me, hiccups. And that's what it looks like. Ooh, that's what it looks like from the back. the fan's on the other side, and that's the bottom down here, and that's on the heat sink on the CPU. These will keep the temperature way down, and from the videos I've just been watching, this one, for example, oh, that was really dark, it's hard to see it, but this guy fits it, and yeah, you can see that the amount vertically, basically, right? So just to give it bigger. So it's weird because when I'm live streaming, my computer doesn't really overheat. It seems to overheat more with Second Life more than anything. For example, at the moment, I'm at 57 degrees centigrade, which is not bad. Second Life tends to really bump up the heat a lot. I mean, what's the CPU usage? CPU usage is at 17%, right? That's, and I'm live right now. I'm not hardly using any CPU. That's good because it means that it's not going to overheat, right? GPU is about 45 degrees Celsius right now, so not too bad. But it's when I'm running Second Life, that's when I have problems. That's when temperatures go a bit wild, right? Anyway, I watched this video. This was a guy who installed it on his computer, and another guy I was watching a few minutes ago. I think it might have been that one. Anyway, there was a guy I was watching a bit ago, and he saw a temperature difference of 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees centigrade lower, or was it? I think it was lower on average. So instead of an ambient temperature of around 55 or something, he was getting an ambient temperature of like 41 or something. But when he was doing his gaming thing, normally his temperatures were like 71 degrees Celsius. But when he actually installed the new cooler, it was 60. I think it was 61. No, I think his other one was 72. And when he installed the new cooler, it was 10-degree difference because of the high temperatures and high wattage that's used when you're doing gaming and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a huge difference in temperature, much cooler. And these are budget as well. These are pretty budget, low cost, not expensive. Unlike water coolers, they're very expensive. Anyway, I can't afford it this week, so next week maybe I can get it next week. I'll have to figure it out. But so as I say, I'm not 100% sure that it's a motherboard or if it's a graphics card. But if it is the graphics card, then there's a good chance I can repair that, because if it's capacitors, I should be able, if it's the main electrolytics, I should be able to get some of those, because let's see, eBay. Let me just open another eBay, so I don't lose where I am while I'm looking at that. So right, electrolytic. If I can spell it right, I'm terrible at spelling stuff. I think the 270 megafarad, 16 volt. This is what they usually put in the graphics card. I think the low profile, let's have a look, see if we can find some. No. The trouble with computer stuff is it's specialised. Those look good. From Japan, I could put those in. Excuse me, I could put those in probably, but they're still quite chunky. They're not surface mount. Let's try. I don't like working with surface mount stuff, but the electrolytics aren't so bad. So let's try surface mount. I think it's SM for surface mount. SM capacitor. Let's try that. Yeah, that's it. Those are the ones. The polycapacitors. So I could in theory get some of those, but oh my god, they're from China. Guess what? A lot of junk comes from China. But I'm saying that, let's just go and have a look at this. This is the sort of capacitor you find on graphics cards anyway. This is the type. Those are the ones that fail. They leak all over the place. So let's surface mount. I could easily get some of those, and not cheap. They're not cheap. Those are the types of ones. 270 microfarad, 16 volt. What's that? 5 pieces for £3.40. Right? And those are red. The ones I've seen in my other graphics card. If I had to replace them, would be probably. I think I've seen the ones with a black stripe on them. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. But that's just one. So you can buy them. DIP means direct inline. Is it direct inline polarization or something? I've forgotten now. I'm getting too old for this stuff. But right, let's see. There's some more here. These might be better quality. Now there's 10 of them, but they're cheaper, so they might be worse quality. Let's have a look and let's see. Let's just click on that one. I don't trust anything that's not marked. Looks like they've got a blue. There's a light shining on that one. I can see a bit of blue, so they're probably blue on the top. There's I think a bit of blue on there. They don't look very good quality to me. But if it gets my graphics card working again, that's wrong button. If it gets it working again, that's the main thing, isn't it? Let's see. Ideally, I would prefer to get ones from Japan. Now, I don't know where these are from. They're from China. Unbranded. Alarm bells going off. I hate it when they say that. No, I'm not so sure. I prefer to get something from Japan. The good stuff, you know. What are these? Oh, a lady who's got a channel, Yari Fashion, selling capacitors. What does she do? Decorate a dress with them? Yeah, that seems a bit odd. Right, what are these? These are solid aluminium electrolyte capacitors for charger power adapter. Now those are too low. The voltage is too low. 6.3 volt. But it looks like you can buy them in quantities. Yeah, I think they need to be 16 volt probably. Most likely for the graphics card anyway. Usually. But there's such a lot of stuff you gotta watch out you don't get the wrong thing, you know? Right. These are 10 microfarad, 16 volt. They're no good. They're too small. They're smaller values, but they tend to fail more frequently though because they're smaller and there's less mass, and they tend to dry out more quickly, and they can also suffer more heat damage. But anyway, this is what I'm going to have to be looking at. If it turns out to be the graphics card, I'm going to be attempting to repair it, right? But maybe it isn't the graphics card, maybe it's just the motherboard. So I've got a lot of stuff to do for the next few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take me to sort this out, because I was thinking about building another computer from scratch rather than fixing my existing one for now, because if I get this new motherboard and I build a new computer, because I've got a power supply in the bedroom, I've got some memory I can stick in it, so I could build it into another box, then I wouldn't be downtime. I wouldn't have downtime, if you know what I mean. I could still browse for stuff and order stuff on this one while I'm fixing another one up. So I was thinking about doing it that way, because that way it would be a quick and easy, dirty job of just, if it's my graphics card, I could simply just pop it out the existing machine and put it in the other machine, and then validate it by putting it in a different machine with the same motherboard. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a bit like taking the engine out of one car or sticking it in another car to check. You know what I mean? Instead of having to strip something down and leave myself completely helpless without any computer at all, that would not be a good idea. You know what I mean? I could be without it for a day or two while I get it all back together again, and I don't want to be in that situation. So I'd rather build another computer, which I can do. At least I'll have access to the internet, and I can buy stuff if I need stuff. So I'm thinking that I was doing it that way, because it just seems more logical. And then if this one does die, at least I'll have a backup to use on the internet, right? And obviously I'm going to make sure it's on Linux as well, the same system I'm using now, because I don't trust Windows anymore. Too many viruses and all this stuff about lag, all these problems with lag, because that's all caused by antivirus software and firewalls and all sorts of other stuff. You have to, anti-spyware software and all the other stuff you have to put on top of it to make it safe, which is ridiculous. You shouldn't need all that stuff if you had a decent operating system in the first place. Anyway, so what are these? Solid polymer aluminium electrolytic capacitors, 4.7. Oh no, they're too low. I need some. I'm pretty sure I need 270 microfarads, because that's what they usually use in graphics cards anyway. This is a 4.7s too. Yeah. Oh, can't even drag my mouse over that one. So these are probably better quality, these, because you only get 5, and these are 270 microfarad. That's from China too. Yeah, you don't know where they're coming from in China. That's I haven't got anything against the Chinese. It's just that you don't know which region is manufacturing them. You don't know if they're cloned or copied. A lot of good stuff comes out of China as well, but you just don't know if it's coming out of a you know what I mean? You don't know if it's a counterfeit or genuine. You honestly can't tell these days. Anything, all sorts of stuff ends up on eBay. But when you get it from Japan, you can guarantee, because they've got this thing about honour and all these things, you know, they don't like to be dishonourable to their fellow mankind, you know what I mean? Oh my god, look at this. 10 pieces for £41. Oh my god. Aluminium organic polymer capacitors. These are probably high quality. These are 16 volt 270 microfarad, but they're freaking expensive. I wonder where they're from. I wonder if they're from China or Japan. Those look like the good McCoy, because they've got labelled, properly labelled. They're very nice and look, yeah. Those look like the real ones, and they're not cheap. The good stuff is not cheap, right? Let's see, where does that come from? And it's got a brand. It has a brand name on it. You gotta watch out for this. It says that, brand. Right? Those look like the good stuff, the good ones. Country, regional manufacturer. There, look. Definitely not China. But can I afford that? No. I would love to buy those. They've got tolerance rating of 0.2. Those are the things you want in your graphics card. Definitely, those are the types you want in your graphics card. These are good McCoy. Yeah. These are good ones. Where's this box come from? You're gone now. So this is good, right? Because it's got a proper brand name on it. It doesn't have an EOM. Equipment. forgot what EN stands for now. Anyway, you can look it up. But let's see what these people say. Looks like they've got a lot of positive. But you know they're expensive. Is that for quantity? No, it's 10 pieces for 41 quid. Wow. So what is that? I can't work that out. My brain's not working. Alright, let's try this. 41 divided by 10. What is that? I can't think. £4.10p each. Those are £4 each, I think. Wow, that's what I call expensive. But they're obviously good ones. But you know what? I'd have to save up if I was to buy those. I can't afford 41 quid. Not right now. What am I doing here? I'll just keep looking. Maybe I'll find something in the middle. And whenever you buy multi-packs, if you're looking at multi-packs, that can be dodgy too, because you end up with a lot of junk that people don't want. They just throw it in a big bag and sell it. That's usually what happens. So look at this. They've got a range here. Let's have a look at this one. Select values. 16 volt, 270 units. How many? So if I found one capacitor, that would be fine. But the minimum is 5. Right, let's try that. 5. So what would that be? 5 pieces. The £2.29 each. That's cheaper than £4. £2.29 each. Yeah, that would be affordable. What's the total price for that? Oh, does it say? Buy one, £2.29 each. Buy two, £2.24 each. Buy three, 4 or more, £2.17 each. So that would be, if I got 4, I selected 5 though. I can't select 5. It says select quantity 5, 20, 100, 1000, but 5 is the minimum. Oh, I assume it means batches of 5. So if you order 5 batches of 5, so they're selling 5 for £2.29. Don't know. I'm going to bookmark that though, because I mean that's an option, and they look like the same type as what is in my other graphics card. So they usually use the same types. You know, I'm going to bookmark this website because if I need to come back to it, add to watch list. I'll add it to basket for now, and then I can come back and review it later if I need them. I don't even know if I need them yet, do I? But it says we're looking again. Those seem to be reasonable. I didn't even look to see where they were made though. Hang on. It looks like it's in the they've named the city. That's good. So located in Shenzhen, China. Right. So the other ones that said just in China, what are they hiding? They're not proud of the city or something? This one is. These people are proud of their city. Right? So, good sign. Oh, postage is £3. So yeah. So that would add a bit on top. But yeah, I'm going to keep that one in mind, because this looks like a good site, because they've got, and it looks like a business as well. 99.5% positive feedback. So yeah, business. It's a business. Registers as business seller. That's a good sign too, and it's got a love sign. Somebody's giving it a love, a heart. So that's good too. So this is what you got to watch out for when you buy stuff on eBay. You got to look for the positive parts of it. Also the what do you call it? Oh, I forgot again now. Is it down here? Oh, it didn't have an NPM. It says does not apply again. Still, it's in between the cheap stuff and the expensive stuff, so it might be okay. Everything else is filled in except for unbranded. I'm not so sure about that though, but I can't afford the expensive stuff. That's the problem. I can't afford to spend 41 quid on some capacitors, especially it might not be that anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, I'll come back to this later on. What I probably would do is buy some and load test them. You know, put them under a load, stress them out, see if they overheat, see if they pop. You know, you can do things like that to test to make sure that they're actually good quality, and also they don't short circuit on you. You could put the maximum voltage in, for example, which is 15 volt. The ones I chose was 16 volt actually, but put the maximum voltage in at 16 volt and see if they get warm, because if they're warm they're leaky, and if they're leaky they're not freaking good. So yeah, anyway, I've got that bookmarked. Oh my god, look at these 10 pieces, 28 quid. Those are expensive too, but let's just check that one. Where are they manufactured? Brand, Chemicon. They've got a brand name. Good. That's good. That's a good sign. Manufacturer's part number. That's a good sign. Right. Is it a business seller? Yeah, it's a business seller. Those are service mount electrolytics though. Those are 28 quid though. Well, that's for 10. So if it was only 5, if I only needed 2 or 3, I'm not going to spend that amount of money. You know what I mean? Usually you only get 1 or 2 that fail. You don't get all of them failing, just 1 or 2, because they've been in the hot part of the motherboard, hot part of the box where near a heat source, and they get cooked, and that's when the vent. They don't all fail at once. Depends how much temperature they're exposed to. Anyway, enough of that waffle. Let's go to something else. I'm just gonna. I've looked. Right. So what else was I thinking about? And so this cooler, that would bring the temperatures down dramatically, preventing any further damage to my computer, which is great. But that's just gonna have to wait, because that's not priority right now. The priority is to get another machine, or get my machine fixed. So I've got a backup, right? And that could come later on. Once I've determined I've fixed the problems, then I can think about upgrading to that, because that's 24 quid, like, you know, and I haven't got that amount of money to throw around right now. So yeah, thank you for watching. Oh, go and check out all these videos, by the way. There's loads of cute, cool stuff about these freezers. These so installing these Arctic coolers. There's another video somebody's put out. Let me just mute the sound. So this guy's doing is it the 7? Yeah, it's the same one that I'm looking at. This is on the left hand side. I've muted the sound so I don't spoil it. But this guy showing you where you mount them. Now these are the capacitors at the bottom, right? On the mother, just going past it now. These capacitors at the bottom are exactly what I'm talking about. They get cooked. They're right next to the CPU. The CPU goes in there, right? And these capacitors, if they get overheated, they can burst and cause you have a problem to boot your computer. And if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 of them. Oh, is there 22? Did I miss that one? There's 22 of these freaking things all the way around the CPU, right next to all that heat. And they sweat and they get cooked. Oh, there's more up there, look. See? There's even more up there. So any one of those failing could cause problems. So now you understand why I was looking at capacitors on eBay. These are all red striped, and they could be the cheap ones, I don't know, but this is what you got to look out for. You got to find out which ones popped or if any of them have leaked, and if they have, you'll find a little puddle on the circuit board under where they've leaked. That's what I'll be looking for, puddle. Slimy puddle. Or I'll give it the sniff test. Does it smell of rotten fish or something like that? Yeah, sometimes that's what you find as well. Or the actual graphics card, it'll have a bunch of these in too. They're usually 270. They usually have a standard. That's the standard for graphics cards, mostly 270 microfarad, 16 volt. I can't even zoom into that, can I? Oh, I'm not in HD. Just a minute, let's see. Can I go to HD? No, I can't. Won't go up to that. But I can zoom in a bit. I don't think I can read it. No, it's all blurred. He's not using very good quality. But I can't even read what values those are. But yeah. So this other guy's is upgrading his cooler. And I'll have to click this. I'll have to put this video link in the description later on. That's what it kind of looks like. So I've got to, when I get some extra money, I can get one of those. Actually, I think I already watched this video. I did. Did already watch this video earlier. So yeah, it's very good, detailed. I'm skipping forwards right now, by the way, because it's too long. Quite a big task. Look at all them fins. That's why the heat goes out of them fins. Anyway, I'm going to get off. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the long-winded waffle. We'll see you later.